Good morning, everybody. Let's sing together this morning. We got a good rockin' song that was picked by our fearless leader. Here she is. Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit reign. Lady, we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, rocking around the Christmas tree. Have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, rocking around the Christmas tree. Have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the old new fashioned way.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, everybody. That was some good energy. Let's keep that. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity Temple on the Plaza, where diversity is praised and peace and harmony are the rewards. I am Reverend Ann Tabor, and I am the Senior Minister and CEO of Unity Temple, our founder's church, Myrtle Fillmore's church, and it is truly a great joy to be with you today. So if you're joining us for the first time, or maybe you haven't been with us in a while, we're so happy that you decided to spend a portion of your morning with us, and we extend a special welcome to you to join us for community time down in Temple Space. It'll be in Temple Space today instead of Unity Hall, and that'll happen right after the service. And if you're joining us online, if you're live streaming in with us today, we want to say thank you, and do make sure to let us know in the chat box where you're streaming in from. We would love to hear from you. And now, before we move into the reading of the daily word, we're going to take a few moments to honor the season of Advent. And it is my honor to lead us in the lighting of our third Advent candle, the candle of love. And so with that, I would like to invite our prayer chaplain, Julie Jordan, to come up. Today, we continue on our fourth Advent week, our journey to Christmas, a season that invites us to renew and express the Christ light within ourselves and in our lives. This morning, Julie is going to light the candle of hope, relight the candle of hope, which lights our way forward. In the last couple of weeks, we also lit the second candle for peace, which steadies us as at our center. And then today we are lighting the third candle of Advent, the candle for love. And we remember that love is the power that brings all of life into expression. In the Christmas story, Mary and Joseph can be understood as symbols of love and wisdom, coming together to create a space for something holy to be born. When love guides us and wisdom grounds us, new possibilities are born through us. In Scripture, we hear that an angel visited Mary and told her she would give birth to a great spiritual leader. An angel also visited Joseph and told him that Mary would be carrying the Holy Child and that it was his calling to take care of that child. And so when we use love like Mary and we use wisdom like Joseph, we bring forth miracles like Jesus. The Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph cared for one another, and their love helped Jesus become our teacher and way-shower. This is the meaning of Christmas, that the love you have for your family and friends can help them fulfill their highest potential as well. When we fill our hearts with love and speak words of encouragement and kindness, we create our own holy family. May the power of divine love within you shine so brightly that it lights up the world. And so it is. Amen. And now let us prepare our hearts as Julie shares the reading of the daily word for today.
Good morning. The daily word for today, Sunday, December 14th, 2025, is love. Our affirmation for today is, I give and receive love with gratitude and joy. Our reading for today is, this Advent season, I turn my attention to the myriad ways love expresses within and all around me. I feel called to share blessings of love with people in all circumstances and receive their blessings of love in kind. I may join in festive celebrations, sharing cheer and fellowship with friends and colleagues. I practice patience and understanding, especially during moments of frustration as I go about my Christmas preparations. I feel compassion for those who struggle during the holidays and reach out to them with support and caring. These are some of the ways I show love to others. When I receive their time, attention, and gifts with gratitude, I'm letting them show their love to me. Our scripture today comes from John 13:34. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another. Our daily word is love. Today's affirmation is, I give and receive love with gratitude and joy. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. And now it is time to move into our service with the temple chimes, the opening prayer, and the call to inspiration with Kelley Hunt. The opening prayer can be found in your bulletin and on the screen. Please follow along and let's say together. On this day, we dedicate ourselves to peace on earth. We accept ourselves without harsh judgment and express appreciation for our individuality. We live without fear to meet the events of this day with confidence. We accept others without prejudice to experience a sense of unity with all people. We honor our earthly environment and recognize a oneness with all creation. In harmony with ourselves, our lives, other people, and all of nature, we live this day with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. Thank you, God. Amen.
Love came down at Christmas. Love, all lovely, love divine. Love was born at Christmas. Star and angels gave the sign. Love shall be our token. Love be yours, and love be mine. Love to God and all men. Love for plea and gift and sign. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? Well, I'm gonna send thee one by one, one for a little bitty baby, born in Bethlehem. Go where I send thee now. How shall I send thee? Well, I'm gonna send thee 2 by 2. 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for little bitty baby. I said born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee now. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee 3 by 3. 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for little bitty baby. I said born in Bethlehem. Well, now go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee 4 by 4. 4 for the 4 that stood at the door. 5 for the gospel preachers. 6 for the 6 that never got fixed. 7 for the 7 that never got to heaven. 8 for the 8 that stood at the gate. 1 for a little bitty baby. I said born in Bethlehem. I send thee. How shall I send thee? Well, I'm gonna send thee 9 by 9. 9 for the 9 all dressed so fine. 10 for the 10 commandments. 11 for 11 riders. 12 for the 12 apostles. 1 for the little bitty baby. I said born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. Send thee now. I'm gonna send thee 1 by 1. 1 for a little bitty baby, born in Bethlehem.
Woo. Now that took me back down to Louisiana. Thank you. All right. Well, it's so good to see all of you here today. It's a new and different Sunday because this is the first time that Ann has platformed with me. So thank you, Ann. Thank you. All right. Well, it's cold outside. For those of you who are watching on live stream from warmer climates, it's cold outside. And so I'm really glad to see all of you here this morning because you could have stayed home and pulled the covers up over your heads as I was tempted to do. But my husband said I had to come, so I'm here. He's home, but I'm here. Now, I always like to start with something funny. So you've probably heard this before because the other day I was saying this to my daughter to give her an idea of what I was going to talk about. And she says, yeah, I saw that on TikTok. I'm like, nothing's sacred anymore. A semi loaded with Vicks Vapor Rub overturned on a very busy highway during a rush hour season, the holidays. Amazingly, there was no congestion for 8 hours. See, Tammy, somebody laughed. Now, this one I know Ann will like. It's Murphy's Law of church attendance, and it goes well with today. If the weather is extremely bad or cold, attendance will be down, right? If the weather's extremely good or there's a Chiefs game, attendance will be down. But I see some of our diehard Chiefs players came anyway, and you're getting ready for the Chiefs game this afternoon. Now, if the bulletins are short supply, or whatever I hand out is not enough for everybody, attendance will exceed all expectations. You can count on that. So we're going to play a little game today. How many of you like game shows? I love game shows, and especially Jeopardy. So this is a Jeopardy game, okay? So shall we try it? Okay, so the answer is the question, and the question is the answer. You know how Jeopardy works, right? So here's the first category. Famous speeches for 100. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "It is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend." What is love? All right. Ding, 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 ding. You get a prize. I didn't even have to go do, 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 do. You didn't even give me a chance. Okay, the next category is peace on earth for 100. The late, great Jimi Hendrix said, "When the power of this overcomes the blank for power, the world will know peace." That would probably be a cancellation on Jeopardy, right? I gave away the word. So the question answer is, what is love? The final category, now that one was worth 500, and the final category is unity teachings for 1,000. Myrtle Fillmore said, "This force can bring harmony to ourselves and our relationships." What is love? Excellent. You're all winners, and your prizes are out there on the ledge in the narthex. So when you leave, please pick up your prize. Thank you very much. I knew that you'd be winners because you're here at Unity Temple on this cold day. So this Sunday of Advent, the Sunday of Love, my talk title is Love is the Answer. You already got that. Charles Fillmore said, "We're all members of life's fascinating classroom." He went on to say that unity is the link in the great educational movement inaugurated by Jesus Christ. Our objective is to discern the truth in Christianity for ourselves and prove it to ourselves, not to stand on the street corner, on the plaza, or wherever you're located and hold a Bible and proselytize and tell people you're not going to heaven if you don't believe in this or that. Our objective is to discern that truth for ourselves and to teach what we know. Our sole purpose is to help ourselves understand how to apply these truths to everyday life. Now, we use one of many textbooks in Unity called the Bible. It is not a book. It's actually a library of 66 books. And it's about the evolution of human consciousness, our own story, from Genesis, which is the first book in that Bible, that textbook, which means we all have a beginning. And sometimes we're starting over. We're at the beginning. We're in our infancy. To Revelation, which is the last book, which is falsely known literally as an apocalyptic story, the end of times. But for us, it's a revelation. When we have those experiences in life that catapult us to a whole new level of thinking, we raise our consciousness, that is a revelation. That's an aha experience. And we go back to a new beginning at a higher level of consciousness. Speaking of which, another game show question. What do you call a book club, that's been stuck on one book for years? Church. So Sunday mornings from 9 to 10 a.m., we're stuck on one book, and we've been doing the Old Testament 1 month at a time. There's 66 books in that whole anthology, and we're going 1 month at a time. We're studying the book of Job right now, which is all about not just suffering, but about truth. It's about faith. It's about trust. It's everything that Advent is about. Hope and faith, peace, love, and joy. Now, all of us have questions about our existence, or is it just me reading my own mail? Every now and then I ask myself, why am I here? Am I on track? Why am I doing this? What am I here to be? Am I really fulfilling my purpose? And with all the pain and suffering in the world, what can I do? What is mine to do? Any of you have those questions? The answer is love. It's as simple as that. We are love in expression. We are God in expression. As my friend, the late Catherine Thomas, would say, we are God with skin on. That's love in expression. God is love. In the book of John, we read, God is love, and those who dwell in God dwell in love, and God in them. Now, metaphysically, there are stories in this library that have a hidden meaning, parables, allegories. They're all about our consciousness, our story. I'm going to divert for a minute, just talk to you a little bit about the stained glass windows. I just want to call your attention. I don't know if Steve Werner is here today, but he's an expert on stained glass windows, and someday he'll give us another tour and tell us all the history. But you come into this sanctuary in the Charles Fillmore Chapel, the Myrtle Fillmore Chapel, and you see some stained glass windows. There are 65 stained glass windows in Unity Temple on the Plaza. They were commissioned in 1971. Now, in the balcony, those who are sitting down, you can't see this, but when you get up later, look up, there are 4 stained glass windows. And believe it or not, they represent Advent. They represent Advent. Without peace, there's faith, hope, love, and joy in those windows. Sometime just tool around and take a look at some of the windows, and there's some amazing things depicted. There are 59 of the 65 windows are in this sanctuary. The most important window, in my opinion, is that one. That one. And it's no coincidence that the designers of this sanctuary chose to put that window in a place where all of us looking in this direction can be reminded of who we are and what we're called to be. The love window behind me is always illuminated. It lets us know that, and when we let our light shine for the world to see, we are illuminating love. We are spreading love. So how does this thing, love, work? Unity's principles are based on the teachings as demonstrated by Jesus Christ, not who he was, but what he came to show us how to be. Parables, precepts, and miracles. So I'm going to talk to you today about a parable. You've heard me talk about this before because it's one of my favorites. And it's from the book of Luke, the 10th chapter, the 10th through the 37th verses. It's the parable of the Good Samaritan. A man is robbed and beaten and left for dead on the side of a very treacherous road called the Jericho Road. Now, historically, theologians say that part of town was really risque, that there were always people trying to hurt somebody on the road, and it was a crooked road where you could hide in some of the curves. So this man was unexpectedly accosted by some thieves. Now, he's laying on the ground, and he's bleeding, and they left him for dead. A priest comes by, and he sees the man laying there, but it's not his concern. He's on his way to an important meeting with other priests. He has no time to tend to this man. Somebody else will take care of it. And then a Levite, the lawyer, the one who knows the laws, he comes by and he sees the man, but he also notices that the priest didn't bother to do anything, so why should he? And he kept walking. Now, there were certain people, like in our society today, remember, these are stories about our story, the evolution of human consciousness. There are certain people that look down on other people. Maybe they weren't born in the same zip code or don't have the same area code. But there are certain people who think they are better than other people. Well, there was this group of people that were called Samaritans. Now, metaphysically, it said they were of mixed thinking. In the Bible, it says mixed race, but mixed thoughts. You know, they may have been religious and spiritual, or spiritual but not religious, but they didn't measure up to the higher standards of the priests and the Levites. Now, the way this story came to be was an example that Jesus was providing. When one of these smart, highbrow people said to him, "So I hear you telling everybody that you can inherit eternal life. So how do we inherit eternal life?" And he says, "Well, what does your Mosaic law say?" They didn't expect that answer because they were trying to accuse Jesus of getting rid of all the old laws to create a new world of his own. They wanted to get rid of him because he was getting too much attention for all the right reasons. And so Jesus was known for answering a question with a question, and he said, what does your Mosaic law say? Oh, well, it says in Deuteronomy, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your might, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. He says that's correct. But the second part is as important, or maybe more important than the first. It says, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So these wise people thinking, oh, we got him now. They were like interrogators. He was on the witness stand. So, Rabbi, tell us then, who is my neighbor? He says, let me tell you a story. And that's how this story of the Good Samaritan came to be in that library in the New Testament. He said, now, the Samaritan, who was considered less than, tended to this man. The others who know the law, they know the truth, they know the principles, they know what's right and what's wrong, but they ignored the man. He was less than them. The Samaritan had some oil and wine in his satchel, and he took it out. It was priceless, worth a lot of money, and he poured it on the man's wounds, and he raised the man up and put him on his donkey and took him back to an inn and told the innkeeper, here's all the money I have right now. Please take good care of him, and I'll be back in a few days. I have a trip, and whatever else is owed, I will pay for it. Jesus then asked the question, in answer to the question, who is my neighbor? In this story, who is the neighbor? Who is the neighbor? Who am I? Who is my neighbor? What am I here to do, to be? When I witness something that is going on in our world, is there something I can do about it? Who is my neighbor? Are they people who only look like me, live in the same zip code, have the same background qualifications, speak the same way I do? Who is my neighbor? A personal story from my career way back in the day. There was a woman who was very difficult to work with. Her name was Lola. She has since passed on. Everyone avoided her, and they talked about her, and they whispered about her. She was cranky and standoffish. She wouldn't let anyone get close to her to know her. I knew that when someone has that kind of behavior, there's something deeper, maybe a lack of self-love. So in my unity way, I decided to put this to the test and go out of my way to show her love. I visualized a totally different picture of Lola than everybody else had painted. I stopped by her desk every morning and made a point of saying, "Good morning, Lola." And she would say, "What's so good about it?" You know those kind of people, don't you? Nothing's good. And they don't like for you to be happy. It ruins their day. But I kept it up until I saw that ice breaking. I have a keychain that's almost falling apart, that one day Lola came by my desk and laid it on the desk and then walked away. It has an angel and a cross. When my mother-in-law passed away in Maryland, Lola was the first person to come to my desk with a card. She gave me a hug. A year or so later, Lola asked me, could we go to lunch? And I learned about Lola. I learned some things that had gone on in her life that made her feel like she wasn't good enough, that she was less than. And she told me that I was the first person that made her feel loved. You see, the best kind of love is the love you give without expecting anything in return. While I was hoping that the ice would break and that I would really get to know Lola from a loving point of view, I didn't expect that. I was still going to continue to come by her desk every day, I don't care what she said, and say, "Good morning, Lola." Good morning. Sometimes that's all people want, is for you to acknowledge that they exist. So what can you do? The answer is love. Love yourself and love your neighbor as yourself. And don't question who's your neighbor. We all are. People who live outside this country are our neighbors. People who don't live in our neighborhood are our neighbors. Find something to love about just your very existence, and it'll spread like wildfire. Have you ever met somebody that seems always happy, always up? And when you come around them, you feel happy and you feel up. You don't know what's really going on in their lives. It may not be as beautiful as you think it appears on the outside, but they're finding a way to be the love that they want to see in the world. There's a story of a man who had lost something, and he was crawling around on the ground trying to find it. When a stranger came up and said, "Can I help you? What are you looking for?" He said, "Well, I lost something really valuable, and I've been digging for a while around here, and I can't find it. I really need to find it." And it was dark, and the man just kept digging, and he said, "Well, do you remember where you think you lost it?" He said, "Well, over there, by the light." He said, "Well, why are you digging over here? Why are you over here digging?" He says, "I don't know, but the light is better over there." You see, sometimes it's the light we carry. That's where the love is. It doesn't matter what's going on outside your life. It's the light. That's why this love window is illuminated all the time, to remind us that that love comes from within. And sometimes we're looking for love in all the wrong places. I love music, and I love to relate music to messages, because music has messages. It doesn't matter if it's a blues song, an old spiritual, traditional. Every piece of music has a message for you. Foreigner keeps asking, "I want to know what love is." Obviously, they never read the New Testament, never heard the story of the Good Samaritan, or they wouldn't be singing it that way. But love is a universal language, especially in music. Do you know that 90%, according to research, of the songs that are most popular are love songs? And they're not all about falling in love. Some of them are about heartbreak, breakups, sadness, loss, but they're all about love. The first place to look for love is inside yourself. Maybe you're struggling with a relationship. Maybe you're having a health challenge, financial difficulties. Just give it some love. Even when you don't feel you have enough to offer, trust me, you have more than enough. Imagine what the world would be if each of us gave what we could of the love we have, even if it's a little bit. As the Impressions of the 1960s once sang, "Never too much love, too much love. Never in this world will there be too much love." So how much love is enough? Emmett Fox put it this way: "Love is by far the most important thing of all. It is the golden gate of paradise. Pray for the understanding of love and meditate upon it daily. It casts out fear. It is the fulfilling of the law, just as Jesus said. It is the fulfilling of the law. It covers a multitude of sins. Love is absolutely invincible. There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer. No door that enough love will not open. No gulf that enough love will not throw down, will not bridge. No wall that enough love will not tear down. It makes no difference how deeply seated the trouble, how hopeless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, how great the mistake. A sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all." I love this last statement that Emmett Fox made. If only you could love enough, you would be the happiest and most powerful being in the world. In the world. Just with that little 4-letter word that's open to that book, that anthology. The whole basis of the story of the evolution of our consciousness is love. Because the answer to all of life's questions is love. We're living in a time when we have more questions than answers. I know I do. Why am I here? We just studied the book of Esther, and I showed the film from the Sight and Sound Museum. I'm going to show it again on January 11th. It was a Chief's Day, and there was decorating of our beautiful sanctuary, so not very many people were able to come, but I'll show it again. I think January 11th is not a big day for games, hopefully, and we'll show it downstairs, and it really covers this idea of self-love and love for our fellow human beings. When Esther says, "If I perish, I perish." Her cousin Mordecai said, "You were born for such a time as this. Why did she say that? Because when you do something in love, you're not married to the outcome. And she saved all of her people, the Jewish people, because she was willing to step out on faith and demonstrate love. How do I handle disappointment and heartbreak, you may be asking yourself. How do I handle loss? With so much trouble in the world today, how can I possibly make a difference? The answer is love. If only you could love enough, you would be the happiest, most powerful being in the world. And we've met those people. Dr. King said, I chose love because hate is too heavy a burden to carry. Your mission, your homework assignment, should you accept, see how many times you can respond with love to any challenges that you may be facing. If you want peace, as Jesus said to the interrogator, the Samaritan demonstrated the greatest commandment: love your neighbor as yourself. Go and do likewise. Write yourself a love letter. That works for me sometimes. Sometimes I just need to tell myself, remind myself of who and whose I am. Sit down and just write yourself a little note. Keep it on the bedside table or somewhere where you'll look at it quite often, to remind yourself that you are the love that you want to see in the world. Write a love letter to someone else. You don't have to send it, but keep it and read it whenever a challenge comes up. Go out of your way to show love. That's what you're made of. That's what you're here to be. That is your sole purpose. Got questions? The answer is love. Love, according to Myrtle Fillmore, in whose honor this church was built, is the great harmonizing force that can heal, restore, and unite. And Dr. King said, life's most urgent and persistent question is, what am I doing for others? How do I show love where it seems to be absent, where it's much needed? All you need to do is to be the love that you want to see in other people, even those that give you the most challenges, even when it's hard. So before we move into a time of meditation, I'm going to ask you to ask yourself right now, are you loving yourself enough so that you have the strength to love others as you would like to be loved? I gave out some little I Am Loved buttons that come from Hellsberg Diamonds, which is, of course, started here in Kansas City. And I want you to pin that on. Keep it with you somewhere. Remind yourself, you are love in expression, and you are loved. So I leave you with this little catchy tune that may play over and over in your head as it has in mine, since my daughter was in YOU, the Youth of Unity, right here. And that's probably been 40 years ago. She's old. It's a standard for our Youth of Unity program, and it emphasizes the fulfilling of the law with one commandment. Love the Lord your God with all your mind, with all your heart, with all your strength, with all your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. You want to sing that with me? I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. You guys are good. Got any questions? Love is the answer. And now Kelley will bless us with one of her originals, Ancient Bell, to move us into a time of meditation.
I hear the sound of an ancient bell. I hear it ring inside my heart. soft and clear. I don't know just when it started. It's rung for 1,000 years. For all the souls in the universe. It is the ancient bell of peace. It's here to awaken the love that's sleeping. So ring it loud and clear. Ring it so loud that the world can hear it. Like a million voices singing through the darkest night. You can hear it ringing. You can hear it ringing. I knew a man so hard and cold. He didn't care about anyone's tears. Until one day he closed his eyes. And through his darkness, he could hear it. But just one voice was raised and singing. Just one voice, like a bell ringing. Just one voice was raised and singing. Through his darkest night, he could hear it. He could hear it. He could hear it ringing. We are the ancient bells of peace. We've come to awaken love that's sleeping.
To get comfortable in your seats. Relax. Lower your shoulders. Remove any distractions from your lap. Rest your hands gently in your lap or on your legs, palms up. And take 3 slow, deep inhales and exhales. Go to that place of inner peace where you connect with your higher self. Release your attention to any outer thoughts. The best way is to just focus on your breath as it flows in and as it flows out. If you feel any tension or discomfort, just breathe. Breathe into that spot. The presence you feel is your spirit of your higher self. You are the silent witness of yourself in this moment. You are the ancient bell. Stay focused on the rise and fall of every breath. Silently in your mind, repeat the word love. Every time a thought comes up that you do not want to entertain, just in your mind, say love. Love is your essential nature. Reflect on the tone of your dialogue, your inner thoughts and ideas. Is it kind? Is it loving? Think about the quality of your interactions with others, any emotions you've been experiencing. Just observe, you are the witness as you reflect on love. Feel the living, loving presence of God in every breath, loving and accepting yourself just as you are. Speak this truth to yourself. I am love. I am love. I am love. In the silence. As we begin to return to this time and this space of a sweet connection with Spirit, I invite you to take a deep breath and take these words as your own. I give thanks for the presence of love in and around me that binds, harmonizes, and attracts all that is for me and in this world. May I be kind to myself by loving myself first. May I show up in all my relationships as a center of peace, love, joy, and gratitude. Today I look for opportunities to give love through a smile, a handshake, a fist bump, a high five, a hug, a kind word. As I question, who am I? What am I here to be? I know love is the answer. Now, bring yourself back to this room. Wiggle your fingers and toes, take a deep breath. As Kelley brings us the timeless, traditional spiritual. Go tell it on the mountain.
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills, everywhere now go. Tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Oh, Jesus is born. Well, shepherds kept their watching over silent flocks by night. Behold, throughout the heavens there came a holy light. They were singing, now go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Now go tell it on the mountain, well, Jesus Christ is born. The shepherds and the wise men who journeyed from afar, well, they heard the angels singing beneath the Bethlehem star, and they were singing, now go tell it on the mountain, tell it over the hills, tell it everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus, oh, Jesus Christ is born. I know down in a lonely manger that humble baby lay, sent out for our salvation on that blessed Christmas day. Go tell it on the mountain, tell it over the hills, and tell it everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Why don't you tell it on the mountain? Tell it, yeah, on the mountain. Why don't you tell it? Tell it on the mountain now. Tell it on the mountain. Why don't you tell it? Tell it on the mountain. Why don't you tell it? Tell it on the mountain. Tell it on the mountain. Why don't you tell it on the mountain? Oh, right away, right away, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Kelley. Wow. Thank you, Kelley. And what are we going to tell? The Spirit of God is alive in us. The Spirit of love, the Christ self is alive in us. Go tell it on the mountain. So your gifts help us to continue to provide sacred space and services for so many people throughout the week, here in person and online. So we invite now our ushers to come forward, greeters to come forward. We want to keep it simple. So you may sign up as in our ambassador program so that you can do a recurring donation. And if you're joining us on live stream, you can click the donate button on your device to send your offering. We are so very grateful and blessed for your presence and your contributions. Let us join together in our offering blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. And now you're in for another treat. the Temple Quartet will bless us with Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles Here we are, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Oh, faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together if the fates allow. Hang the shining star upon the highest bough, on the highest bough.
And have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Merry Christmas now.
Wow. Thank you so much, Reverend Sandra. Thank you. It was a beautiful, beautiful message. Thank you so much, Kelley Hunt. Thank you, Temple Quartet. Wow, just stunning. And Steve Perry on the piano. Come on now. Yeah, get at it. Come on. We are so blessed. We truly, truly are. So I want to let you know that our prayer chaplains are the individuals wearing white prayer stoles, and they will be available after the service here in the front of the sanctuary to pray with you one-on-one. And I really want to invite you to experience that if you haven't already. Our prayer chaplains really hold everything that you share in the strictest of confidence, and they are here to support you, and they are honored truly to pray with you. So I invite you to experience that. I have some announcements to share, and I'm just going to give you a quick heads up that we have a few more than usual, so hang in here with me. First up, a big thank you, a huge big thank you to everyone who selected an angel from our online angel tree program. The response truly has been absolutely incredible. All gifts must be wrapped and dropped off no later than today. And it needs to have the child's name and the number clearly labeled on your wrapped package. And I just want to share with you that this outreach project for Unity Temple it's been spectacular. There are bikes. There are so many packages, and these gifts are going to bless these children in so many ways. It really is beautiful. So thank you. Our handmade holidays market is happening right now downstairs in Unity Hall, and it will be opened until 2 p.m. It is a great chance. It's an opportunity for you to shop local and find that perfect little something that you have really been looking for. I'm pretty sure you can find it down there today. So make sure to stop by before you leave. Next Sunday will be the fourth Sunday of Advent, and I will be sharing my message, The Joy of Joy. The Joy of Joy. Now, a special note about next Sunday, in case you haven't heard, after many years of blessing Unity Temple on the Plaza as a Sunday soloist, our beloved Jerome Johnson will be concluding his regular Sundays here with us. So next Sunday, September 21st, will be his final Sunday. So as his calendar fills, he's like in 2 bands, he's traveling all over the world. We want to send him off with lots of love and hugs and, of course, deep gratitude. I also want to share with you that he will be with us on Christmas Eve. So please make plans to be here for both of those special services. And with that, I would like to invite our board treasurer, Rip Fernholz, who is going to share a short financial update with us.
Good morning. My name is Rip Fernholz. I serve on your board of directors as your treasurer. And despite my shirt, I'm not going to get into the problems the Chiefs have. We have our own challenges. We'll end up the end of the year projected deficit in the neighborhood of like $245,000. The good news is the difference between October and November, our deficit only grew $7,000, where we've been averaging 2022. So inch by inch, we're getting there. The last time I talked, I'd mentioned about Rip's tips. And just quickly, some of it may apply to you, but required minimum distributions can go to Unity. If you've got stocks that had gains, you could avoid the capital gains by sending it to Unity. You can also, if you're a certain age, donate directly out of your 401ks without taxes. I have a fourth Rip tip for you. If your employer has a matching gift program, it's quite likely that Unity would be eligible. Now, that means you make a donation this year, they double it. You set it up again next year, they double it. How wonderful would that be? And of course, Ann always asks me to have a disclaimer. I'm not a financial planner. Make sure that you check with your people. But those are 4 ideas that could really help us. So I'll be in the back of the church to answer what questions I can and get suggestions. Before I leave, I'd like to make one comment. Unity Temple on the Plaza has been here for over 75 years serving the community. And we owe it to ourselves and the future generations to get this fixed and keep moving. One thing we can all do is talk up Unity. If there's people out there that used to go to Unity before COVID and for whatever reason stopped going, reach out and invite them back. If there's spiritual seekers out there that are just looking for a place for spiritual growth, invite them to unity. If we all work together and make a little bit of effort, we can get this done. Good.
Thank you, Rip. Thank you. And I will just add that we have some of our most cherished traditions coming up in Unity. And of course, that's Christmas Eve, followed by Burning Bowl, and then White Stone. So it really is a great time to invite family and friends. Now, with that, let's invite our children in. Let's welcome them in by singing Walking in the Light. What fun things you did today?
We did some fun things. We had the girl day. Last week was boy week. This week was girl week. And we talked about love. We talked about all the ways we can show love, maybe different ways that we hadn't thought of to different people. Like maybe we usually give all our love to our family, but sometimes there are people like the mailman, the mailwoman, the clerk at the grocery store that gives us all our yummy food. So we did, we had a meditation that got us all calm. We needed that in the beginning. And then we made some snowflakes. We made little, we got glittery and made some cards and special things for some special people, so we'll find out who gets them.
Yay! Thank you, Maggie. So just a quick thank you again for being with us today, both in person and online, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here next week for the Joy of Joy. With that, we will bring our service to a close, and I ask you to join in saying the prayer for protection, followed by Let There Be Peace on Earth. Together. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Meant to be with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joy.